What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk about SoFi. So over the last several videos, give or take, I've always brought up how institutions are secretly buying SoFi significantly, but Friday is just a whole nother level. I'm going to be talking about that and some other things that you definitely need to know about SoFi that is possibly alluding to us being at the bottom. So take that how you see that. But before I get into anything though, making sure you guys hit that thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate that. If you like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With that, let's get right to it. So you can see that ticker from Friday. It is obviously the market's closed right now, but there was 53.9 million. We are officially over that average volume of 53.2, and that is a very optimistic thing, especially considering the last time we actually did get over the average volume, it was the start of a nice rally. So again, if you are one of those individuals that likes to kind of compare and contrast from historic data, then might be the bottom. Again, there's going to be a lot of things I do bring up that all are insinuating that the bottom is very much close. Also from Friday, the block volume, so 17.4 million shares being purchased by institutions and hedge funds just Friday alone. So that is from the secondary market. And again, similarly, like on other videos, I have been really watching the dark pool. And in case you guys don't know what the dark pool is, it is an exchange designated for institutions to trade amongst each other, because imagine having 5 million shares on every single transaction, give or take. That is going to cause a lot of volatility. So to eliminate that, they made their own exchange. So on the secondary market, there was 17.4 million shares being purchased. And on the dark pool, which is that exchange, you can see all these transactions. Friday was a very, very significant day. And looking right here, there was a $15 million actual transaction, 2.6 million shares. So clearly a lot of big money has been buying. And like I already mentioned, Friday was just out of this world. Typically there's a lot of institutions purchasing. So this one was from Thursday, this one was from Wednesday. So you can kind of see that there is still typically on a daily basis, and especially over the last several weeks, a lot of institutions secretly buying SoFi. But Friday was a whole nother level. Looking at here, 2.96, 2.96, 1.93, 2.96, that huge 15 million one, and then 2.47. And then clearly, even outside of those, there's still a lot of big transactions that's happening. So this is why, like I said, a lot of people are a little bit slow to the game. There's a lot of institutions that are continuously shouting, saying that there's a recession, but at the end of the day, secretly, they are buying your shares for cheap. So again, it's one of those things. Take that how you see that. Keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence. At the end of the day, this is only for entertainment purposes. But when it comes down to this, retail investors really need to stop selling, because it's just adding to the downward pressure. And you can even tell based on Friday, institutions are lining up. They're willing and ready to buy any and all of your shares. So not only that though, a lot of big options activity is happening. And even over and above that, this is updated information as of Q1 2022. 8.63 million call options were purchased by hedge funds. That is up 147% up from the quarter prior, insinuating that they also do see a huge appreciation in the price coming very much soon. So take that how you see that. But even right here as well, 39.33 million total as far as call options being purchased by all 13 F filers. So you can't really ignore all of this information. All of this shows that big money is getting into SoFi, and that there is significant value when it comes down to that, because we all know that based on the previous earnings, especially the news, they are definitely having a lot of good advancements, even more so as well from the transcripts from the CRE conference, all insinuating that big things are coming for SoFi. So it's one of those things. And in addition to that though, just want to bring this up. So short information is very interesting, and I like to use that as a good benchmark. But what happened on Friday, they closed out 1.69%, which works out to be 5.59 million, which is roughly about $32 million. So there was roughly about $32 million that was returned from shorts. Clearly it's not really worthwhile for in their position to continue to increase. There is a lot of fear out in the market, but also at the same time, it clearly shows that there's a huge value rally that is going to come from that. especially after the Fed meeting as well. There was some good things, some bad things that was said from that, but in the end, at least we now know that, and we can factor that all into the price. So given the circumstances of where we are at, especially what happened on Thursday, the very big sell-off, it shows right now, and especially with all of this information alluding to, we are very close to the bottom. But when it comes down to it as well, cost to borrow average is 2.75%, so that's kind of been maintaining as well, and 16.05% is the short interest. We were roughly at 24%. That was absolutely huge, and we have gone down quite a lot. So like I said, a lot of shorts don't really find it advantageous for them to increase their position. And one final thing, just to top it all off, a little bit more of a comical thing. Cramer did come out saying that you need to sell stocks into any rally, especially more so until the Feds do curb the inflation and things like that. So it's one of those things, reverse Cramer. So he's saying that you need to sell, that means you need to continue to buy. So this is why right now might be an amazing time to buy into SoFi. But let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. If you think that Cramer is right, that you need to sell stocks into any rally. I find that a little bit more ambiguous and completely incorrect, if you ask me, especially looking more so on the technical stance. We are extremely oversold. Looking at stochastic, we are actually at 18, which is very low. Anything below 20 is a good buying opportunity in my opinion, but there is no defined trend as of right now. Momentum, you can tell over the last little bit, clearly a lot of fear has gone into a lot of the retail investors. So clearly a lot of retail investors are really avoiding SoFi altogether. RSI is also at 39, and on the actual chart though, we are still lower percentile of the Bollinger Band, but we're getting to and kind of within very pivotal points. I'm going to touch on that in a second, but overall though, we are holding our support very well. So that's a very strong positive, where a lot of other growth stocks have gone outside the Bollinger Band majority of the time, especially since Thursday. So SoFi isn't doing too bad in the end. And looking right here, like I said, we are in a very pivotal point. So we're currently at $5.70, give or take, and you can see that is between that S1 and the pivot. So we were lucky enough to bounce back into this S1 and pivot point, this transition period. So that's a very positive sign, because obviously us trading between the S2 and the S1, it just shows a little bit more of a breakdown on the technicals. But the fact that we bounce back in is very optimistic, and hopefully will show that we get over this $6.78. So that is the next point to watch for, which in my opinion is very much attainable. So given all the circumstances, I think right now is an amazing time to buy into SoFi, especially like I said, follow suit of what big money is doing. That is one of the big things that a lot of retail investors like to do, and so far if you actually catch on in the right moment, is very beneficial. Because when it comes down to it, don't cite me on this, but most likely in around 2 weeks, you're going to see a lot of institutions now saying it is safe to buy, that right now it does show that the bottom is in. Most likely you are going to hear something along those lines, but keep in mind at that stage, a lot of institutions already have safely bought, just like this $15 million order as well, like I just pointed out. Clearly that institution finds significant value. They do not think that a recession is coming, especially based on all this. Why would institutions be backing up the bus this significantly when a recession was imminent? So that's one of those things that you just need to make sure that you do your own due diligence, because a lot of institutions are not your friend. You need to kind of read between the lines, and when I'm giving a lot of information, take that. If you find this valuable, then I highly suggest you following suit and buying, because I definitely have been, because there is a lot of significant value, and I took this opportunity to average down, especially when institutions are buying this significantly. But with all that, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate that. And also, if you do like my channel, want to support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. On a side note, make sure to have a amazing long weekend, and happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, or stepfathers, whatever floats your boat, whatever you want to call yourself. As long as you are having a great day, that's all that matters. But with all that said, let's all make a lot of money on SoFi.